Thank you very much, Hazel. And well, we always say what an atmosphere, but that introduction was something very special. And Ronnie looks pretty relaxed.
Ladies and
he doesn't
gentlemen,
usually smile like that. So.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to bet.
Ronnie, who did win the toss, and he will get this quarter-final match underway. Very difficult to predict the winner of this one, John.
Yes, boys were talking at the top of the show about the records coming into this. I think probably the main match I'd concentrate on is that Welsh Open, because Robertson was 5-2 ahead in that before Ronnie put the afterburners on to win 7 frames on the trot, which I don't think anybody in the game had won 7 frames in a trot against Robertson. But and then since then, of course, the semi-final in the European Masters, and Ronnie beat him 6-0 and made 5 breaks over 60 in that match. So whether Neil will be remembering that or this is just a case of another day, we'll soon find out.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Well, they come up short there. That was interesting because the table has been absolutely flying. A very quick cloth, but this is a new cloth on, and even if it's off the same roller cloth, it'll be interesting to see if this table plays as quick. It's the same table, but if the cloth plays as fast as the previous one, we'll find out in a couple of shots' time. Good safety there from Neil. Might be able to get past the yellow and blue for that red, but looking at that angle, there's no value in taking that on because he'd be careering into the reds. If it was straight, he could have a go at it and get onto the black. Well, apparently I've just found out that just the cushion cloths have been changed. So the bed of the table will play it the way it has been. It's strange why they would change the cushion cloths. They weren't really bouncing that much at all, John.
No, I suppose if anything's going to wear out quicker, it will be the cloth on the cushions, of course, in the jaws of the pockets. That's probably why that's been done, but anyway, the best safety from Ronnie there. Caught the bump on the middle pocket. Excellent cueing from Neil Robertson. Making straightforward that.
I didn't see much of Neil's match with Ali Carter. I was on in the afternoon, but apparently he played very well.
5.
Yeah, I was chatting with Neil the other day just before he came out and played, and he was saying that scoring wise he felt like he was right back to his best. He made 13 century breaks in a little mini league thing he was playing in, so you don't do that unless you're hitting the ball properly. But one of the things you really do need to do if you're playing Ronnie O'Sullivan in what can be deemed his backyard is you need to have plenty of character. You need to stand up to it. That's where the Aussie grit comes into it.
13.
Two fabulous players. You've got the abundance of natural talent in O'Sullivan, the best player I've ever seen with a cue in his hand, and then you've got the Australian with a laser-like cue action, tremendous break builder, an all-round match player with that Aussie grit. Great matchup.
18.
I mean, what this player achieved in the 2013-2014 season might never be done again. To make 100 centuries in one season, that is extraordinary.
90.
Still got a red in the middle there before he has to play any cannon, so he can stun this in and leave the one there. You can see it. In fact, there's a couple of them is available. He's coming up a little bit short though. Might just be okay.
26.
He's having to go away from the black here. But
27.
needs to pull up a little bit. That's okay. And he could play a little cannon into the 5 reds there, because it's a thinnish one on the blue. And this could really open things up. He went delicately into the reds.
32.
Yes, nicely played, that little cannon, but got to come out a little better. Just got to play this and avoid the cannon on the red that's near the side cushion when you pop this one. She's managed to do, and already by his demeanour in this break, you can see Neil Robertson knows the importance of a good start in this match. He looks tuned up and ready to go right from the off. Started the season off pretty well, won early on and had a semi-final, and a couple of disappointing results by his own standards since then, but as I say, starting to make all those centuries in the last couple of weeks, and the hard graft he's put in over Christmas time. If he gets back to his best, he'll take some stopping. He's that good.
Yeah, I was surprised that he dropped down to number 7 in the world. He certainly, as Stephen Hendry said, should be in the top 3, you would think. But that's how tough the game is these days, and you can quite easily slip down the rankings a little bit if you have a bit of a lean spell.
Yeah, he's just taking a bit of time with this one, because it's not, you can see there, just over a minute, but he's just got to try and get the next positional shot right, because the red he was looking at, he's just got to try and, if he can get straight on this, it'll be absolutely perfect. He doesn't really want to be playing any cannons. How's he come? Well, that's
38.
not straight, so just wondering what he's going to do here. This is not straightforward. He might, yeah, I'm surprised he came up off the shot there.
Well, he didn't want to risk the delicate little cannon to hold on the black there. Just forced it in, hoping to drop nicely on pink or blue, but it's not absolutely perfect. He's got to avoid the balk colours and get back up in to the scoring end of the table.
Yeah, in and out of the balk area. I think those 2 reds that are near the black definitely pot. He couldn't have hit that much better. That was a lovely
44.
shot. Really well controlled. Looking in good, Nick.
Yeah, he got round on those 2 reds with the aid of a little flick on the brown here, as you can see. But you can expect this from these 2 players. I think if the other makes a mistake, the way they're playing,
51.
every chance they'll finish the frame off.
Yes, but how important is it, Dennis, to stick your marker down in a match? You know, you many a time in commentary say about Steve Davis used to be brilliant winning the opening frame. It's very important just to let your opponent know you're here to play and you're at your best, and this is what Neil Robertson's doing. This is hugely
58.
impressive.
59.
Be very difficult to start with a century break, but he's almost over the winning line
66.
already in this opening frame.
67.
Have to wait for the next frame now, because Ronnie does need a snooker regardless of what happens. He's got a chance to move either of the little sets of 2 reds there. Have to play a double if he's going to have a chance of a century. Back
74.
double, but the frame is well and truly in the bag. Just checking that, looking at the scoreboard. So you might as well have a go at the double.
Neil Robertson, 74.
Well, no century break, but what a start from the Australian. He got one chance and that was all he needed. And that lovely break has given him the opening frame. It's 1-0 to Neil Robertson. Well, John, you can't do better than get a chance and make enough to win the frame off.
No, that was very impressive. He is the consummate match player, is Neil Robertson. As I say, slightly surprising where he's been for a few tournaments, because as I say, I rate him as highly as the boys were saying at the start. You know, for me, he's definitely a top 3 player of that all day long.
Just look at the focus on his face there. You can tell he's really tuned in for this one. And Ronnie just made a slight error, and that was all it took. This was the one. Just doubled the red. Well, he was a bit unlucky to catch the jaw and leave the red over the corner. It wasn't right over the corner. It was a good opening pot, John.
This was we mentioned how good his cue action is. This is right through it. It's a lot more difficult than it looks on the screen, but beautifully struck, and as you say, the rest is history.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Second frame, Neil Robertson to break.
Well, that's a pity. The break-off shot is just put a red right next to the black and put it out of commission. Either player would have liked to have seen that. It just means that Ronnie can't take this red on to the left corner because there's no colour available. Touching ball would help.
Touching ball. Touching, yeah.
And Yander has declared touching ball. Can you believe it, John? It's 25 years since Jan Verhaest came on the scene as a referee.
Yeah, one of the very best, and a lovely man. We've all got older together.
Could be touching again.
Touching ball.
And it is. Ronnie might as well just stay where he is because he's going back into a similar position.
Sorry.
This time Ronnie can play back down the table. You can see the edge of the pack there. There's Ronnie's good friend Damien Hirst, renowned artist. He didn't think he'd be back today because he thought Liang Wenbo would have potted the black and knocked Ronnie out. Missed a very easy black to knock the 6 times former champion out.
Foul.
Doesn't want to leave a free
Miss.
ball here.
Neil Robertson 5.
And he hasn't, but he's left a long pot on. I wonder how Neil will take this. Will he go around the back of the... If we just show you again, he just caught the blue. But Neil can play around on the blue, or he could play to nudge the red away from the black.
Well, it was the first time in a while I've seen him cue across the ball there. Usually a feature of Neil's cue action that it goes straight through. But definitely hit across that one. And first scoring opportunity for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Not a great chance, obviously, but he usually manages to find a way around these things.
Three.
Yeah, this
Four.
could develop the pink and reds because the black's tied up at the moment also. So how hard will he hit this? Oh, might just be able to get through.
9.
It's tight though. It's very tight. In fact, I don't think he can get through to it. Bit unlucky there with the split.
Yeah, it wasn't totally ideal on the blue. He couldn't get loads of power into that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 9.
But he'd be very disappointed if he doesn't cover it. That red with the blue. Because he wouldn't have been playing to leave the red there.
Just caught the pink half ball. Full ball contact would have been better, but he was still a bit unlucky there.
Difficult thing for Neil here, of course. He's playing off the side of the pack here, but obviously that red on the left hand side is the one he's got to keep covered. So a cue ball virtually in the same place he played from should be ideal. Well, he hasn't done that. And if Ronnie can pot this red and manage to get the cue ball out, then it's a chance.
He could finish on the pink here if he hits the reds. A quick glance at the pink, can't get through to that, but the main part of that shot was potting the red. It's a medium length blue, normally very reliable with this type of shot, but he hasn't had much table time.
Cueing that was. Right the way through it, beautifully
6.
struck.
Seven.
It's not a brilliant chance this, the way the balls are positioned. Obviously the black is out of commission, the pink's going to get tied up back on its spot, it looks like.
Is there enough room? That's the ball marker that will tell the referee whether it spots, and there is enough room. And as John mentioned, the pink now tied up, so he'll have
30.
to play up for the blue. He had a look to see if the pink would go into the left corner, but we find out the way he plays the positional side of the shot, if it pots or not. Well, it does.
14.
The pink does pass that red by the looks of things. Well, maybe not. Otherwise he would have played it. He did look at it, so Ronnie would have known whether the pink would go, but once this red's
90.
removed, it could develop it. Now I know where that pink would go there.
Yeah, just can't quite get the position he likes at the moment. He's just slightly off with each shot, and of course the bump there doesn't help because it actually puts him straight on the blue. Like to have been top side. So another good medium range pot to screw back and back for the blue again.
Oh,
25.
this is tough. The white might go close to the left middle pocket. He'll have to be careful here. No. Hit it lovely.
26.
Yes, Dennis hit it beautifully. Really well struck. And the best thing there is the position. You'll see there's 3 reds below the pink. 2 of the bottom ones definitely pot now. So he's got an area to play in there. Straight away, that's where he is.
30. Well,
there didn't look to be many points available to him when he came to the table. The balls were all tied up. He's making a terrific job of this. Always nice to see the big breaks going in when they're all sitting nicely.
36.
But when you see them having to work hard like this, it's very skillful
37.
indeed. Now if he's straight, now he's got a slight angle, so he can force this in.
Yeah, and I think both the reds might pot, one next to the pink and the one below it may do so. Hasn't he taken these well? I mean, the table when he first came to it
42.
wasn't brilliant, but so far this has been superb.
43.
Both players in good nick, Dennis.
And that's what everybody wanted, this packed house at the Alexander Palace, and everyone watching at home. We just wanted to see both these players playing well, and it looks as if we're going to see that. There's always
50.
something a bit special about England playing Australia at any sport.
So
56.
59 on, lead is 60, so just make sure of this red.
57.
Absolutely wonderful break this. Not many players I can think of would have come to the table and won the frame from this visit, but O'Sullivan has. Absolutely brilliant break.
63.
Neil's having a look.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 63.
And he's signaled to the referee that that's enough. So Ronnie O'Sullivan has returned the compliment. He got one chance and he made enough to win the frame. Great stuff. 1 each.
Fast start, great start, 10 and 11 framers. And actually, we were talking about Neil Robertson's win there in the first frame. That was his first